Now keep in mind it's a 1.6 liter trying to spin 4 turbos. So we just pinned the wastegate shut. Like, whatever boost it would make, it would make. It ended up making like 20 pounds of boost, and it made 411 horsepower.
Is it working now?
I need like an on-air sign.
On-air sign? Yeah, well, we were trying to get a clapper, but Josh won't buy one. Alright!
Right, I'll order one right now.
Do it!
Right now.
You want to talk big money? Do it.
And an on-air sign that you can put here, the lights up.
That would be sick, man. I'm trying to get an Apple one. Because we're sellouts. But... yeah, Napa
what are they called?
On-air signs?
Movie clapper.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at that. Look.
You can get one?
$21.99 on Amazon.
Order.
Oh, nice.
Right now.
It shows up, it's like this big.
Yeah. Well, fuck.
Not showing me the pictures.
Did you get it? Anyway, well, we're started. Alright, welcome back. Well, just drop
It's
that.
gonna start weird anyway.
It's 12 inch by 11 inch, man.
Huh?
It's 12 inch by 11 inch.
Well, that's not bad.
No, that's 12 inches by 11 inches.
Yeah, that's about. Here we go. We start with a bit the small dick jokes. Anyway, welcome back to the casting couch. We're with Mr. Supra Williams today.
Mr. Supra
I don't
Williams.
have Super anymore though, so
So just boosted lifestyle.
yeah, I guess yeah.
Basically,
That's how it all started though. Was
Mr. Quad Turbo Civic.
when did you change that? Whenever you just sold your Supra, or did you keep
it
running
was
with
Super
it?
Williams for a long time on Instagram, and I just kind of kept it because someone had Boosted Lifestyle, who was ironically also named Kyle, and
Oh,
had
really?
a Supra. So like, if you look up Boosted Lifestyle right now on Instagram, it's a guy who has a Supra, and his name is Kyle. And I'm like, can I buy that from you?
And he wouldn't.
And he's like, no. So I just changed it to Boosted Lifestyle YouTube.
So basically, Kyle is like a YouTube creator,
Content creator.
is that the term? The
I
technical
think so,
term?
yeah. Or I don't know, like sleep until noon. Content, yeah, I think that's what
Like
it is.
very much the life that everybody wants to
Yeah.
have. But fuck, man, you grind it for a while just to get to where you are, man. Like
Yeah.
you have a big list of achievements. So it's pretty cool to have you on the podcast because it's like everybody who create content in town kind of look towards you because you're.
He's our first famous person.
Yeah,
Wow.
pretty much.
And, I mean, in Canada, it's not very big for the group of famous people, so...
Well, that's especially on YouTube, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, like, how much subscriber you got now?
215,000 on YouTube.
Jesus Christ, almost a quarter.
Yeah. So that's the next goal, obviously.
250?
Yeah, but, like, in the beginning, I must have started YouTube, like, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
But I was doing YouTube and a full-time job for, like, hustling hard at it for, like, 6 years before I even quit. So it was, like, there's this build-up of getting there, and then once you get there...
It's kind of a bit slower, or
It's a bit slower, yeah.
because people don't realize how much money we actually spend. Like just in front of you is what, fucking $600.
Yeah, and microphones, yeah.
Yeah. Like, you know what I
100%.
mean? There's so much more than just like building your cars that goes into YouTube, like the lights and everything. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, you definitely don't make money on YouTube until you're at, like, the top-tier level. I'm not even, like, where I'm making massive amounts of money. I have, like, a reach and an audience, but, like, the giant money isn't in YouTube.
So it's more with like a branded deal, or
Yeah, so you get a lot of money from, like, for example, if you watch a YouTube video now and probably 1 or 2 minutes in, they're like, this video is brought to you by this company. Well, usually those companies will pay between $30 and $40 per, like, 1,000 views that you get on a video.
Oh, okay, that's how it works.
Up to, like, let's just say $1,500 is your negotiated deal.
Yeah.
So you might make $100 or $200 off a video, but these companies will pay you for that 60-second slot. They'll pay you like an additional $5,000 to $1,000.
That's not too bad.
No,
Well,
it's great.
it's different. I thought it was like a fixed amount on what, like on the average viewership that you would get, but
Yeah, you kind of negotiate that, and some companies be like, that's too out of our price range for how many views you have, or like...
so is that how you got to like being a full-time YouTuber, or just be from brand deal, or
Yeah, and then you can't just be stuck on one media. So obviously TikTok,
you got to
Facebook,
feed it, you got to feed everything
yeah,
towards
everything's a funnel. So on top of having these medias, I also am part owner of True North Turbos, Black Sheep Ministries, so that helps as well.
How's that going?
Good.
I see a lot of people running now. It's cool to see because like
It is.
it's
really
Nick
cool.
and you pretty much that started that whole thing, right?
The only thing that's kind of bottlenecking us right now is that we've got all large frame turbos. There's nothing like super small, so we're kind of working our way into like the 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder stuff now. But it's been going great, and it's like it's just a venture that I wanted to take, even if it wasn't profitable, because
it's part of your brand too. Like Boo said, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It fits very well with your brand. Like your 8 turbo Mustang, you always have too many turbos for everybody's liking. So it works fucking good. You know what I mean?
I actually counted all the turbos in my garage yesterday or the day before, and I only have 4 in there right now. And I was like,
"That's it."
That's
You had more.
That's like the least
more on the
amount you've
Civic.
ever had.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I was in there before, and I was picking something up, and I can't remember what, but there was a shelf, and on that one shelf, I counted like 16 turbos.
Yeah.
But this was back when like you had the 8 turbo Mustang was
The
going.
T04, is that what you were running?
TDO4s, I think, or they're your TDO3s.
Those are for Volkswagen, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it was a
I think they were
Volkswagen.
TDO4s.
It was a 1.8 liter turbo from like a Volkswagen. I ended up throwing all those turbos out in the dump just because.
Really?
Yeah, we were in the dyno once with the 8 turbo Mustang, and it had its own like oiling system.
Yeah.
And Adam forgot to turn the oiling system on when we were doing a dyno pull.
No.
So it just like it chewed up all the turbos. So I ended up like throwing them all out.
Jeez. How did you come up with that idea? Just like
I seen it done on who is it? They put 4 turbos on a 4-cylinder, but they did it like stupid. It was like Haggard Garage, I think.
Haggard Garage.
oh okay
Yeah, so they made like 1 pound of boost. They had like ABS charge piping with duct tape. It didn't make any more power than a stock vehicle. And I was like, I could probably do that, just like
to another extreme.
better.
Yeah,
So-
to actually work.
yeah. Then I did the 4 turbo Civic.
I found that car, by the way. Just
You
just throwing it
did,
out there.
which was funny because nobody knew like the specs of the engine on this Civic that I bought.
Yeah.
And
Besides Paul.
I showed up and they had 2 map sensors wired in, so it wouldn't run at all. They had 2 map sensors. The signals were fighting each other, trying to feed the ECU. So I was there. I cut one out. I loaded in a tune from wherever the tune base is on Hondata,
Yeah.
and then I drove it home. And the dude couldn't get it started. So
Are you serious?
yeah,
Yeah, so basically what happened was my friend bought the car at Edmonton.
Yeah.
And he kept it for a couple months, and it was fine. He was driving it around and everything. But it was going lean. Like,
That was an actual SI, right?
It was an SIR. No,
SIR.
it was a United States SI. I mean, they're the same thing, but
Yeah,
I can't
yeah.
remember. But so he had the car, and then it was just running a little lean. It was nothing major. So he was selling it, and this kid bought it, and he told the kid, "You should get it tuned." But for some reason, the kid just left it.
I think a kid just hit a door. Or
Yeah.
something.
Well, don't know. That's like I actually live here. That's my that's I rent this basement. My sister lives upstairs, so the
Okay.
kids sometimes you'll just hear them like face planting in the middle of the podcast.
But yeah, this kid bought it, and like Brandon was like, "Yeah, it's safe. You can drive it home, like whatever." But this kid was like, "No, I want it. I want everything perfect on before I drive it." So we just parked it in this parking lot. And
Really?
then I guess he went and tried to do work to it, and he did whatever happened to make it not run.
Yeah.
And then he just gave up on it and left there for like 3 months. And then,
So you wired 2 maps in.
It was 2 map sensors wired into it. Anyways, I got it home, and I noticed that like on the oil pan there was like a return bung for like a turbo.
Yeah.
So I pulled the oil pan off because I had to put more bungs in it for the 4 turbos that I was going to put on it. And then when I pulled it off, I looked up and they're like, there's forged pistons and rods in this thing. So I ended up like putting my bungs in it, slapped it back together, put the 4 turbos on it. We ended up bringing it to the dyno. Now keep in mind it's a 1.6 liter trying to spin 4 turbos. So we just pinned the wastegate shut. Like whatever boost it would make, it would make. It ended up making like 20 pounds of boost, and it made 411 horsepower.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What was it? Was it peaky or just like
Very peaky. It didn't make power until
like-
after 6,000.
Are you serious? Oh man, that's hilarious. No,
So-
I didn't know that.
That car now, I bent all the exhaust valves in it because I money shifted it, but I did do 3 turbos on it instead. So it was a compound setup. It was running 2 TDO4s,
Yeah.
feeding into 1 GT35, and on like 15 pounds of boost, this car's way faster than it's ever been.
How much did you dyno it or?
No, I didn't dyno it yet.
No.
I went out on the highway and I took it for a rip, and I ended up like money shifting it.
On
in
the first
fifth.
rip.
Yeah, on the first day. I bent all the exhaust valves. There's 0 compression in 2 cylinders. Ended up driving it home because it was like, once you have the engine up to speed, the valves kind of like close still. And it's been sitting in parts now, so that one's half apart. Yeah, and I have to put that back together and figure out like what power it'll make, but ended up getting this nice forged bottom end Civic for like $3,000.
So that the Civic came first, then the Mustang.
Then the Mustang, yeah.
What pushed you to do that?
I was like, I could do it with 4 cylinders. Why can't I do it with 8 cylinders? And then in my head,
so crazy. It looked like with the fucking with the downpipe just all the way up the air, and it looked fucking ridiculous.
So with the 8-cylinder one, I was like, there's more displacement. We got to make more power. It's got to be better.
Yeah.
So we did end up making like more power, kind of ish. Yeah. So
same turbos, right?
Same turbos. It actually spooled way faster. These turbos would spool up like 3,000, 3,500 RPM on a V8.
Huh.
The only problem we were having was the differences between the cylinders. If this turbo made 15 pounds of boost and the next one made 13 pounds of boost,
it's fucked up the.
It kind of like wanted to run back through that turbo. So on the dyno, we noticed that like, if you had one weak turbo, we like slowed it down on the dyno. You could see like air coming out of one turbo.
What?
Yeah. So the most we got with the V8 setup was 32 pounds of boost, I think.
On a stock 5.3 or?
Yeah, stock bottom M5.3, 32 pounds. I think it made like
Elvis?
770 wheel.
That was the bottom end after.
Good. That stock bottom end, we put a single turbo back on it, and it made upwards of 1,000 horsepower for a long time on the stock bottom end.
Huh. Was it aluminum block or?
Yes, aluminum block. It doesn't matter aluminum or iron block with an LS so much as it needs to be a Gen 4 piston and rod.
I know you. Did it crash or what? Oh, fucking Christ. That's your whole job. That's your one job.
Imagine the casting couch producer didn't get the shot. He's just like staring off at something else.
It's not even started yet. Yeah, none of the cameras are started.
It's the first time that's ever happened.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah. So Gen 3 versus Gen 4, like the material is different, or
yeah, the connecting rods are a lot beefier on the Gen 4.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Yeah. So, like personally, if I were building myself just like a budget drift car, it would be a Gen 4 LS. You spend a little bit of money in like the camshaft and the valve springs because you're going to want to hang it off the rev limiter all the time. But like if you put a small turbo on that thing, it'll make 600, 700 wheel all the time and like not have any issues.
Why are we not doing that?
So he's been trying.
You just harassed him the whole
He's been trying for so long to get me to boost my drift car.
Why not?
He even like no, that was Isaac gave me that turbo. But you told me Isaac had the turbo.
Yeah.
And like
that
I
was
went
too
and got
big.
the turbo. Yeah, it was way too big. It was like a 92 millimeter or something.
So is that what you're trying to do? Because I talked to Nick a few days ago, I think. I told him that you guys should go pursue with some drifting, because drifting is such a tight knit community, and having like an Alberta part. Mm-hmm. People will fucking
100%. And just to throw it out there, I'm actually looking for
fucking
sponsors
V-bands,
right now.
anything. Yeah.
Well, I've been trying to tell Nick that
anyway, so we'll give you like a sponsor agreement.
Yeah, I'm looking for sponsors right now, so just keep me in mind, right?
Well, I've been telling Nick that...
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been telling Nick like he needs to be more involved in the community, because like he's got his Chevelle and stuff, but he's always at the shop like building shit, or I'm like, you need to do something. Come on this drag and drive with me, Miles of Mayhem, which we do every year.
Well, bringing you in was a fucking smart idea, because you have such a reach and it's such a fucking tight-knit community.
Yeah, and honestly, we've grown the business over the last couple of years like 200%, like every year.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I can see that easy, because you always go like your fucking 8-turbo Mustangs always comes back on fucking Supercar Blondie or whatever.
Well, I'm just throwing it out there for anyone that doesn't know about his businesses. I'm not saying this because he's here. Like,
they
welding
make
materials
really
like,
nice stuff. Yeah,
their V-bands, everything are like the best I've ever used.
Never tried one of your turbo.
They're also big though.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's no size for that we would.
You guys
have
do have a 62 now, though, don't you?
We have a Borg Warner like framed 62, but we're in development of like a GT 35 size turbo right now.
That would be nice. That would be nice to compare it, because we have a Pulsar G35 too. So
yeah, exactly. And like eventually, if like space is such an issue for all of us.
Wow, that's the thing.
Yeah, and if I had more space, I would probably invest some time into a drift car.
Yeah.
But I literally have more vehicles than I do have space right now.
Well,
So
I remember you had your trailer at the racetrack for fucking I don't know.
And you guys still have that other house in Timberlake too, right? Are you still using that garage?
So that has 3 cars in it now. It has...
There's
Jesus
3 cars?
Christ.
Yeah. The wife's twin-turbo Mustang is in there. Her 57 Beetle, and then the...
Oh, I forgot you had that. That thing is nice, dude.
It is super nice.
Fuck.
And then my race car's in there, my Mustang. I also have another Fox body Mustang that Colby had given me.
Is that the LCAT one?
No, that's his. So I'm building that for him. And then he's going to help me with wiring on my Fox. So he gave me a Fox. It's also going to be a Gen 3 Hemi with a turbo on it and a stick shift. That's going to be like...
Fuck.
Stick shift racing is coming back.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see it back, though.
Like, automatics are cool, go fast. You're like, oh yeah, I ran like an 850 or something.
But
It's super fun.
it's too much like the repetitive, you know? What
Yeah,
I mean?
and like there's so much variables in stick shift racing. Like the guy next to you could just like you could brake and then he could be a faster car and lose. So
100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
you miss a shift and you're
Exactly,
fucking, you know what I
yeah.
mean? How's the Hemi Mustang going? I keep seeing pictures of it, man. It looks fucking
it
amazing.
looks so good. And so that one was a Hellcat motor that had like some sort of like piston slap or something in it. So we got it back. We put it in this car, and I think that's going to be like the coolest combo ever. It's a Gen 3 Hemi. We took the blower off it because after about 1,000 horsepower, the blower becomes
kind of useless. Yeah.
yeah, it becomes a restriction. Put twin turbos on it. That's also a 6-speed car.
And what turbo are you running?
Twin True North Turbo 67mm turbos.
Oh, so it's going to be kind of pretty responsive for what it is.
Yeah, they're a little bit large of a turbo. Like we have the same size turbo on Tokyo's Mustang.
Yeah.
Because
it's
it's
Malibu.
Malibu.
It's Malibu, sorry.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. I was like Mustang. I just kept going with
Is
it.
Yeah.
there something we don't know about?
So we have the same 67mm on Tokyo's Mustang, Malibu. Malibu.
So much Mustang talk.
Yeah,
I was
there's too many
confused.
Mustangs, to be honest. On his Malibu, that they get boost like around 5,000 RPM, and we wing that out to like almost 8,000, I think.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah. So like I'm telling you, you just upgrade the valve train in an LS, and you can like
You can't keep going.
mine hits like 8,200 all the time.
Fucking crazy. I want to do a D-stroke 6-liter. That's been my dream for so long.
I know a lot of people say that, like they want the D-stroke 6-liter, or just like the thing with the LS is it's not piston speed you have to worry about. It's the valve train. So
Yes. So
you can-
everything got to be lightweight. You don't have a choice pretty much.
well, yeah, you don't run into issues with like overspeeding a 6-liter. So you can have a 6-liter and wing it out to 8,000. It's the valve train that just has to keep up.
Yeah,
Good to
100%.
know. Good to know.
Yeah,
So,
so-
with mine then, like my setup is LQ9 6-liter.
Yes.
The dual valve springs, BTR dual valve springs, Chromalli push rods, trunny kit, BTR stage 3 cam.
Yeah. So like I would sit yours on the rev limiter all the time at like 76.
Oh, really? Not with no like worries at all?
Yeah.
So,
I did
they're
rod
in the
bolts
fridge.
too. I was told rod bolts fail in them.
uh,
They
did rock.
stretch or
they don't particularly fail. The thing with upgrading rod bolts on an LS is that ARP rod bolts and factory rod bolts are the same price. So that's why I just upgraded ARP.
just do ARP?
Yeah.
They're cheap. I have a set there too if you want them.
I have a set in mine already.
And like
Oh,
now that I'm moving out of the LS game, I have like all these LS parts sitting in my garage. Like I've got an iron block 5.3 there. I've got a bunch of cranks. I've got a camshaft. I've got,
Josh,
like-
I will give you money.
so why? Like just Hemi is for you?
Well,
Take
yeah.
it right now. Why? Like why Hemi?
try something new.
Yeah,
Is that just why? or-
obviously being in the YouTube community, you have to do something a little bit different and weird
we learned
Yeah,
that
I
with
mean,
the
you don't
Miata.
want to keep
to stand out.
Yeah.
you don't want to keep building technically the same car on a different chassis over and over and over.
Exactly.
Again.
And like your Miata video did like really well, and you notice
compared to what we usually get like 200 views. We're not ashamed of it.
and that's how you progress. So like if you instead you put that Viper engine in something else and stupid, it would do the same. But if you put that Viper engine in a Viper, nobody gives a shit.
Well, that's the thing, right? And yeah, and people keep thinking it surprised me how much like cheap those Viper engines are because like it's not more expensive to build that than build an LS. It's we looked at all the parts for it. It's $10,000 to make it brand new.
Yeah, well, it's a singular camshaft.
Yeah.
It's two more
It's
rods and
literally-
pistons.
yeah.
Like,
It's
So-
literally an LS with 2 extra cylinders.
But people keep thinking since it's a Viper, it's a fancy car, like that everything's gonna be. Dude, the camshaft for it is $700. I
Yeah,
paid
that's not
that for
bad.
my Lunatic like back in the day.
Yeah, my BTR was $550.
yeah, obviously, if you move into the LS world, stuff gets significantly cheaper just because it's so readily available, so popular. Like, if you wanted to do like 400 horsepower in a drift car is decent, right?
Pure is all you need, man. It's
Really and that's what there's factory LS motor does that all day.
Yeah. Well, it's like Mark, man. He has the most reliable setup ever. It's just an NA fucking
LS, yeah,
LS1.
LS1.
Yeah, most reliable shit ever. It's not that far off from factory horsepower.
Yeah, and this is where mindsets come. Yeah. This is where my mindset comes in, because you can go to a junkyard, you can get a Gen 3 Hemi out of like a 2013 plus truck, 5.7 liter. With just a camshaft upgrade, they'll do like 400 and something wheel.
Yeah. So Mark got kind of struggled, though, to be honest. He got 401 and he got Trixel heads and fucking good camshaft.
That's what I mean.
So I was kind of wondering, like, where the fuck where did he miss out?
Well, I mean, an LS is just it's a truck workhorse motor. It wasn't like the heads don't flow very good. Even ported heads on an LS, they're just like
706 on that. Nah.
Yeah, you need to
you need 799s or something pretty decent.
Yeah, well, or you need to shove boost down its throat to make up for the lack of.
You should really try
motor.
You should really try to do a drift car. That would be that like is good. Well, it's a good advertisement for turbos too. You know what I mean?
It would be fun and it would be interesting to do it. Just like I don't have a spot.
No garage,
You can just build my car.
Yeah.
In my garage.
Give him the title.
And see, this is where I get caught up, because I just love building things. So like, I see like somebody else's build and I see, okay, they've got 14 couplers on their charging system, and I'm like, oh man, if I could just like touch it, I can make that 2 couplers on each side
and just make it more simple.
Yeah, like.
Yeah,
that's just my love of like fabricating things. Is I just want to take stuff and make it slightly better every time that I touch it.
And you started TIG welding not that long ago after I first knew you, and man, like the shit that you built.
He's waving at you again for the.
Why is
the
it
computer?
now?
Is it just like going to sleep?
It keeps recording. It's fine.
Okay.
I
don't want to do this again.
Just touch the mouse here and there. That's all you need to do.
I'm more focused on this 15-minute camera that builds itself.
So why did you step out of the Supra then?
Pardon?
Why did you step out of the Supra?
It was just too expensive, the super tax. The time that I started fabrication and the time that I sold the Supra was like probably 6 months apart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And my fabrication skills just weren't good enough
to keep up to
where I felt comfortable working on the Supra, because anything that I would touch would obviously like devalue it and make it suck more. So I ended up getting rid of the Supra to buy something else to learn how to fabricate on. And then obviously just kind of like snowballs after that.
What record did you have on the Supra? You had the...
It was the fastest
stock
bottom end Supra, yeah. So we went 8, 9 in the quarter mile with all the factory pistons and rods and crank and everything in the Supra still.
And that was a TH 400 too, right?
Yeah, turbo 400 car. It ended up making like 900 wheel horsepower, I think.
Out of the factory. I'm so happy you were saying that, so I don't have to stress out with mine.
No, like even like the NA 2JZ.
That's what I have. That's why I was like.
Well, even the NA 2JZ piston and rods, like good tune, 600 wheel.
That's what they say. Yeah, 6,700. Then you got to start worrying. But so I'm never gonna put like you said 400 in Alberta. You don't.
Yeah. Yeah, and then once you go to build a 2JZ, it's like there's super tax on everything. So like the camshafts cost more.
What did you run for cam?
BCs? BC stage 3 pluses.
Yeah.
But like once you start getting into built bottom end and stuff, everything kind of fails around the same point at stock bottom end. So the pistons, rods, crank. Oh, sorry, the crank is good, but the main caps. Yeah. So if you build a 2JZ, you have to get billet mains, line hone, new rods, new pistons, and then.
Or fuck, man, what did I look? Stroking a 2JZ.
Yeah,
how like fucking 3.4? Stupid is that? It's for 3.4. Guess how much it is?
Like 30 grand, probably.
Yeah, it's like $7,000 just to.
Well, yeah, it's a $4,000 or $5,000 crankshaft.
Yeah. Fucking, it's ridiculous.
People will pay it. It's just like I said, it's super taxed.
It's mostly because even like the best drifter in the world, like James Dean, he said he doesn't even want to have have a stroke doesn't see any benefits to it.
There's very, very little benefits to stroking a 2JZ.
To compare it to...
The only thing they do now is they put a B series Honda rod bearing in a 2JZ.
Hell yeah,
What? For
baby!
It's
Now we're talking.
God damn, we made him excited right there.
it's a thicker rod bearing, so when you're starting to make 1,500, 2,000 horsepower, it just
really?
distributes the load better.
Huh, no,
B
that
series for the win.
Yeah.
One...
So
Well, Honda is hard to beat, too, so...
So what? Did that Supra actually sell at Barrett Jackson? Is that true?
it did eventually, yeah.
What?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
went to
you never
Barrett
heard that?
Jackson afterwards.
When? Like right after?
Like last year, I think.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, it sold at Barrett Jackson.
It was like 54 or 60,000 US, something like that. It sold for.
What? I had no idea about that.
Yeah, it went to Barrett Jackson
And
afterwards.
he went down south first, didn't it?
Yeah,
you sold it to AFR, didn't you?
I sold it to AFR AutoWorks. They took it to Texas. We went to Texas 2K with it. Ran a bunch of like 890 passes. It stayed down in Texas, and I believe someone bought it from down there. I don't think it came back.
Really?
Yeah.
So is it still the record holder, or?
Yeah. It's not a very like. Someone's going to attain that record because it's not very common to try and push the stock bottom end of a 2JZ. People just like upgrade right away.
Yeah, I guess because it's more like everybody that stays like stock bottom is like broke guys like us that are doing drifting.
Exactly. and the next upgrade for me was like I needed a new torque converter, I needed a crankshaft, I needed like forged pistons
going,
rod.
yeah.
So it was like a $20,000 investment
Yeah,
to
you
go
were pretty much at the
any
limit of what
faster.
that car
Yeah.
could do at that point.
And at that point, you step up with like the guys that actually run like 7 to 6. Like,
Yeah, so once you go like I did like 890s in the Supra. To go down to 850s would have costed me like another $20,000, but I would have been clear to go down to like in the 7s.
yeah.
And then
Who did the stick shift record? Titan, didn't it?
Titan's car is a Lenko, I think.
Oh,
Like it's one of those like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
yeah.
All the different sticks.
Yeah. So I think Granis Racing is the stick shift.
Oh, do you know how much?
2JZ. Yeah, it went like 660 something, I think, at 200 and something mile an hour. Yeah, those
That's
like
insane.
those guys will show up to Texas 2K. Like this weekend was Texas 2K.
Yeah.
He brought a spare billet motor. So
In the pits, just in
the
case?
pits, yeah. So like he melted down a motor in testing. They swapped the motor out. You put the billet motor in.
What?
And he made another pass. They screwed up something else in the head on that motor. So like, just to be the fastest, you're talking like, he probably spent $20,000 just for that race.
Just for that weekend.
Yeah. So
Jesus
obviously
Christ.
grassroots drifting cost for fun time is probably greater than drag racing by a lot.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because you guys, you spend fuel, tires, and then
It's the tire that kills it, man.
the tires.
Oh, fuck, man.
Yeah.
They cost, last year I won $3,000 of tires in like 3 months.
Yeah.
Like it's like
Yeah, it was around the same as that last year.
It's ridiculous,
Last
and we were not running anything like if you were Jesse Foote that has like 600 horsepower to his disposal, man. That's
yeah,
like what,
and
2
that was in
runs?
my G. I spent.
Yeah. You're through a set of tires in like what?
2 runs.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like man, like I was with my. That's why I always hesitated to go to the next step with my car because I'm always like. I spend $3,000 right now.
Then you go a
How
little-
much am I gonna spend next year?
A little bit wider tire to match the horsepower, and then you just rip them apart anyways.
Well,
Yeah,
that's the
that's-
thing, right?
That's my fear. Like I spent around $3,000 to $4,000 on tires last year.
Okay, so to be number one in like local drifting, do you need to have 600 horsepower?
No, Mark, Mark won a bunch of events. He got his pro license. He only has 400.
And you guys are limited on tire size, right? You can only run a
265.
265 rear.
So it's not, I guess, at our power level, 265 is not that restricting. You know what I mean? We all run like 245s, 255
Okay,
at most. You know what I mean? So like you don't need that much more power or that much more grip because it's always comes together, right? The more power you want, the more grip you're gonna end up having.
Yeah, and I feel like Zestino came in clutch.
They are, and they're a very good tire for what they are. Too.
Yeah, for the price. Like I ran Zestinos for a while, and like I was so fortunate that they have
very grippy.
an R compound tire for under $200.
It was they're wicked tires. They're super easy to drift now. Like with everything came up in price, so they're not as cheap as they were. But they do good deals for the drivers. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
still pretty good. But yeah, around 400. Like I think Aaron Day is the most winningest person in Spec D, and I don't think he ever crossed 6.
Yeah. So yeah, like to be competitive, you don't have to go break the bank. Get
Six
a
on the
huge
JZ
forged
what is
motor.
it? Yeah,
Yeah.
6 on the JZ. What is it like? Fucking you crank up the boots.
Yeah, basically.
So
That's how I run everything. Is just crank the boost up.
until it melts down.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! That reminds me. Did you ever get any problems with the Mustang because you drive it on the street?
I haven't yet. I don't drive it often just because I know that like it's got a cage in it. It's loud. I generally only take it to car meets and then
That's it.
that's it.
Because
Yeah.
I do drive mine in the summer, but it's not as crazy as yours. Like I don't have like pipes going out everywhere. But
Yeah.
because I saw a video of you like going in the street with it was a turbo, so I was like,
Yeah.
I was catching out with my drift car.
I was in Timberley and I definitely didn't leave far. Like it was at Tokyo's house. That's where I had it parked. So I definitely only went like a couple of blocks. I hate dealing with the police, not in like a disrespectful way, but like I just hate having that confrontation of like, okay, I know this shouldn't be on the road, but I'm driving it just because
It's fun.
it's fun. Yeah. I'm not out here to be an idiot with it. Like I'm not doing
We've
giant
been lucky,
poles.
man. Like we never. Did you ever had a bad experience? I've been pulled
Never.
over not pulled over. It was like I think it was like an alcohol test, and I was just driving back from the shop. Like didn't drink anything, so they let me go. But they look inside the car. And were like, oh, that's pretty cool. What are those bars for? I was like, in case I roll over.
Yeah.
It's like that's a bit drastic.
And I feel like I don't want to jinx it or anything, but I feel like there's like a communication between the police and everybody here that like you do you out there.
Don't be
Don't be an
stupid,
idiot beyond that point and
Yeah.
be respectful, and we will leave you alone. And
Yeah, it's pretty well understood that like we don't have like a place to do it
Yeah.
in town.
Yeah,
That-
that's
that
the biggest thing. We have nothing here, right? Like,
Oh, that's the thing, and the closest thing is like 4 hours away, so the cops
Yeah.
are pretty understanding.
and like they kind of have to be. Like, I mean, we're in a town with like, there's so much money in this town that
Yeah.
like everybody's.
And
There's
everybody's-
so much people that are into this type of stuff, right? And having nowhere to do it at all, right? Like
So they're pretty understanding when like I said, I drive my car all the time in the summer. Like my car, well, like I said, my car is not extreme. It's not like Jesse Foot with like the bright orange and like.
you guys are putting Jesse Foot on a pedestal right now.
Yeah, I know. It's the first car that came to my mind. So I'm
Jesse,
like,
when you coming on the podcast?
yeah, Jesse, you're the next one. But
Right up on a pedestal. Look at a little action figure.
Jesse,
Jesse Foot.
Yeah.
Jesse wanted to come over to my house today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's what?
We didn't let
Did he buy?
Well, we were leaving to come here.
Did he buy a little shitty red 240?
Blue
Yes,
and
he
red?
did,
The blue
yes.
and
I
red?
think I seen it on my way here actually.
Blue and red?
Yeah, I think I seen it on my way
Yeah,
here.
RB is pretty
got
cool
an RB
too.
in it.
Oh, does it? It sounded good.
Yeah. Did he fix the misfire or whatever it was?
I'm not sure.
I don't know, but he went to the ice lake with it.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, with Mark Sports.
I,
And,
I must say, the RB is like the best sounding 6-cylinder engine.
I'm
ever
a big
made.
Jay-Z fan. RB sounds
You're just a
way
fanboy, bro.
better.
Yeah, it does.
Way better. I don't know
RBs
what it
do
is,
sound extremely good.
but they're garbage to a point. Like to make an RB do like 600, what do you need to do?
Hold
Like,
up now, hold up.
A lot.
The best sounding 6-cylinder motor
Motor.
is a 6.7 Cummins.
Oh my god. We're
Okay.
done. Yeah. All right, so can you cut this mic?
or as Ophir continues to say to me, your truck is just a diesel through Jay-Z.
It's pretty much what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, they get used something.
Real diesel motors are inline, so take that as you wish.
Ouch.
Ooh.
You're gonna trigger
Oof.
some people. The
Yeah.
most-
Duramax and Power Stroke guys gonna be
picture
mad.
this. I need to work on my engine. I prefer that all the intake shit is on one side, all the exhaust shit is on the other side, and I can work on it from both sides.
It just makes
Yeah.
more sense.
Yeah.
I don't want my
Makes sense.
turbo up top by my intake manifold.
I
Yeah.
suck, man. I used to be an LS guy. Now I'm a GDM fanboy, I guess. I'm very bad. I went the opposite route as you.
That's a question I wanted to ask you. Do you think you're going to be sticking with American stuff for a bit of time now, or do you think you'll ever get back into
I don't know.
Japanese stuff?
Like, fascinates me is horsepower per like dollar. So
okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
yeah, so like a Coyote engine would be so great.
There's
I would
one
love to
sale
do.
down right now for
I,
$2,000.
I know. I would love to do a Coyote engine in something.
He knows.
The volumetric efficiency of a Coyote is like comparable to a Honda, where it just like makes so much power per liter, and like efficient power. So when you boost it, you don't have to run as much boost to make more power. Just like everything flows so good. An LS engine's like It was made for a fucking
cheap,
for a boat. It was made for a boat. It doesn't work with a shit. You got to pound like all the boost in it in order to make any power.
But it's so cheap to make any kind of power with it. Like you just stick a turbo. Okay, there's no such thing as $500 turbo. Like let's be real. There's no
good $500 turbo.
No, there's no such thing as like making like 1,000 horsepower out of.
Max speed in your routes is sick.
Huh? What about your CX?
They actually messaged me and they're like, because I was like, the only way I'm doing a deal with you guys, like the Max Peen Raw guys, was like, if you send me 8 turbos, I'll do it. And they're like, we can probably send you like 4, and I was like, no thanks. And then they messaged me like again. They were like, so do you still want to do the 8 turbo thing? And
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. So how does that work? Do you have like do you have an agent, or you're by yourself?
I'm still by myself. Yeah.
Yeah. Like people reach out to you, or you reach out to people?
I just have my contact email, so they usually end up emailing me.
Oh, okay.
I do actually have a company that takes my YouTube videos and puts them on Facebook. So they download them from YouTube, they reconfigure them to like maximize on Facebook, and then they put them on Facebook.
Is it why? Because the formatting is different? Or?
Yeah, people on Facebook are stupid.
Okay. That's fair. I'm on Facebook.
God damn it.
Well, if you look at the statistics on Facebook, nobody listens to Facebook with sound. So they take the videos, they put subtitles in it, and they shorten it down to condense it.
That is so true.
Yeah, dude.
I never click on sound when I'm on
me neither. That's why I put the subtitle on everything that we do, because I even on Instagram story, I just look at it, I'm like, for the 30-second, I'm like, is that interesting? And I just read the subtitle, and if it's interesting, then I click on it. So it's funny that you're saying that, because like if you see like at one point on the 881 page, there's a switch from the reel that were like super long and super weird to like just so many information in one little with
subtitles.
With subtitles,
yes.
Yeah, with subtitles. Fuck man, you nailed it, because I was thinking about it the other day too. Because I never click on the sound ever.
Yeah, on Facebook, like literally 90%, like I can go to the analytics, 90% of people don't watch with sound. So you have to make something that you can watch without sound.
So yeah, is it like an editor or just like a marketing firm?
Okay, it's coming to be really popular now just because there's so much revenue coming through Facebook now. But it's a company, they reached out to me actually, but they do like 1320 video. They do like Cletus McFarlane stuff.
So they're already based.
They're already like they already have this algorithm thing that they do
figured out to make you viral or.
And they probably just cherry pick talent out of like YouTube and be like, okay, you make different stuff. Will you like be part of this? And then it's like a revenue split. So.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah,
anyway. It gets your workload off a little bit.
And that's exactly what I didn't care if I made any money from it, as long as my content was being distributed.
It's gonna come back to YouTube.
You know what I mean? Without me having to do any extra effort.
Like we were saying, it just comes back to a funnel. Like
exactly,
and it's weird. Like every social media platform has different ways to
funnel.
Yeah. And TikTok is like, and you won't get the same engagement on the same piece of content on every single platform.
Like you can take a piece of content, put it on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and it'll all do different like metrics.
Yeah. Then you do the other one, then it's just gonna flip it around. You know what I mean? Like because we got kind of lucky with the Viper thing. It comes back to it, because like this what like performs best.
Yeah.
And I posted it on TikTok the first time, and like it did 126,000. For us, it's like holy shit,
huge, right?
Yeah, we're like, oh my god, that's crazy. So I was like, let me try it on Instagram. Put this on Instagram, it went to 1 million. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Posted it on Facebook, 500 views. I'm like, okay, well.
Yeah, exactly, and that's how it works.
It's always like that. So did you learn by yourself how to reach every metric, or?
Yeah, and then obviously with selling the Supra, you kind of learn to be an oddball, basically, like Viper in a Miata.
Yeah,
that does well. So 4 turbos in a Civic, that does well.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of start building things to be a little bit different. So your next drift car might not be a regular out-of-the-box 240. It might be a fucking station wagon or something. Just to be like, hey, I drift a station wagon or a boat or something. Yeah, I'm a little bit different.
Like, that falls in line with, like, the car I was talking about yesterday on Marketplace. The Ford Taurus with the 2JZ and, like...
Exactly, yeah. You got to do something super dumb to be, like, unique now, basically.
Because there's so much content on the internet that people, like, you want to do, like, what? 2JZ E46? fuck, it's been done 10 years ago. Like,
Yeah,
why?
Not only has it been done, there's a bolt-in kit, there's headers for
Yeah.
it, there's like a turbo kit. Yeah, like
So, like, there's nothing. Like, there's
All
nothing.
off the shelf parts now.
yeah.
So, do you spend time studying the algorithm or not? Or you just post whatever you...
Yeah, not particularly. I watch some YouTube videos and kind of try and figure out
what works and
what
what
works.
doesn't.
So obviously, hugely thumbnails. If they don't click your thumbnail, they don't watch your video. So you can make the best video in the world and have a shit thumbnail, and nobody will watch it because they don't click on the video.
I found it hard to find a good thumbnail.
It's so hard, and especially since like YouTube is like so selective over how it needs to be now. It needs to be like super saturated, like idiot click on this, like.
Yeah, did you find like your click-through rate correlates good with your viewership or not?
Yeah, I think I have an average click-through rate. It's like always between like 6 and 12 or
6
something
and
like
12?
that. Yeah.
Yeah, because like the first one we did that worked really well. We had like 14%. So whenever we posted the second one, that did even better. The click-through rate was at 6%. I was like, how the fuck does that like?
I know, and I've done the same thing where I've studied like the click-through rate
and with the average viewership, like so you study like both, and you're trying to piece them together. It doesn't
make sense.
It doesn't make sense. So everybody says you need to have like a good click-through rate with a good average viewership.
Yeah.
That didn't make fucking sense at all for me.
More than anything, you just gotta have fun. And then,
I think
if you're not good looking,
yeah.
you've got to be funny. And if you don't have a good car,
I'm screwed.
You don't do YouTube at all.
I'm ugly and I'm dumb. This sucks.
I think a lot of people see the genuine person. I don't even know how to say it in English. The genuinity.
Genuinity.
Genuine, yeah.
Add that to the
If you're
dictionary.
people that are genuine, you know what I mean? Like, even that doesn't matter how you are, if you're an asshole or if you're a good likable person. I think people just like people being genuine.
Yeah, and like obviously consistency is a big thing on YouTube.
How much do you find, like, how many videos a year or month?
I used to like. It's so weird. Okay, the algorithm changed for sure. It's always changing.
I heard that they you used to promote like the more like video you post, and now it's different. It's the quality of the
almost
video.
switched.
Yeah.
So what I've been testing out, and it has been working really good, is like do as much as I can in a build, and compact that as tightly as I can in a video, and I feel like that has been working the best.
Because it goes with the retention now.
Yes. Watch time retention.
Yeah. Because when you think about it, it makes sense. Because the more time the viewer is on their platform, the more money they make.
Exactly.
So the more they're going to push that video. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you had like one tip to give to a new creator.
Where's my water at? I didn't deep throat it, did I?
Yeah, the whole bottle's on your neck right now.
Secretly, we're just trying to get our YouTube better.
Yeah.
So just stealing everything from you.
Yeah, basically.
It's whatever, yeah.
Yeah, so anyway.
But obviously,
Can we collaborate more?
you have to, and I encourage it. Like,
yeah.
I'll go to the shop. I don't care. I like having fun. But
Come all anytime, man.
collaboration's a huge thing. Like, the big example I have is Adam LZ. So Adam LZ is giant. Everyone in his group of people who also do videos aren't top level video makers or anything, but they also do well residually.
They all feed each other.
Yes.
Like Jimmy Oaks,
Exactly.
TJ On, and now they're big like business mongol. Like they're
Like, you see those guys, they have like, I'm just throwing out random numbers, they'll have like 300,000 subscribers, but get 150,000 views. So that's like, subscriber to view ratio is giant, but it's because you're associated with this other person. So the more people you can have, like, it just grows the circle itself.
that's 100%. And that's what, like, I remember you gave us a shout out whenever we actually first started 881.
Yeah.
That meant like
I know what video that was.
I know. Yeah.
That was building tracks.
Yes. You remember that?
That
Like,
video
with Tokyo?
started at my house.
Oh, was it?
Was it?
Yeah, when you guys stole my Steelies.
I stole your Steelers, yeah. Traded, yeah.
And I remember, like, we were at, like, 50 subscribers, and it jumped us to 100. We were like, oh my fucking god.
And that's all it takes, really.
Yeah.
So, obviously, collaboration is huge, and I need to do more of it. The hardest part being in our oil town is, like, a shop space.
Yeah, it's...
People don't understand. We keep saying it. The amount it costs to rent a shop up here
It's insane.
It's
ridiculous.
double or triple like in
it's
Edmonton
like
or Red Deer
like,
or whatever.
It's
yeah.
almost like $10 to $15 a square foot on average here, isn't it? Like
It is more than that.
Yeah, it is
it's
more
insane,
than that.
man.
Yeah, it's
Like 1,000 square foot shop is like 20 grand.
yeah.
Yeah, just about. Yeah, our shop is supposed to be 12 grand. Because I know somebody who was trying to rent it before. They said it was 12.
That's crazy. Man.
It's nuts, man, and it becomes to the point that you have so much stuff that you need. You realistically need a shop.
One common thing that I've noticed in like all these big YouTubers is like they have a spot, which helps. They have like a content creation spot, which is so nice, and like that's like ultimately what I'm working towards.
You go there, you don't think about nothing else. You just think. About
you vibe, and even if there's like your car is there. Okay, you've got 3 different cars that everyone's interested in.
Yeah.
And the vibe and like it's so much better than individually filming something and putting it on the internet, I think.
No, you're right. No, I think you're right, and it attracts like different kind of people that might not be into your build, but like they see like us, they see the E46.
Yeah, and then like even if I'm filming something and someone notices you and notice your car, it's cool to see you grow as a person too, and your vehicle and where you go. And
100% there, because I remember that on your Facebook a while ago. Somebody called you an asshole or something like that.
Probably.
And, it made me pissed off because, like I said, like when we started, like I didn't know you at all. I think you knew Ophir a little bit. And you kept giving us advice like on the lighting and
Listen.
like that's why we have those big lights now.
Kyle is anything but an asshole in real life.
I can be though,
like,
I guess.
You can be. But like the first night I met this guy, he just gave me his garage code. I never met you before that night when we did my RSX trans.
Oh right, yeah.
I never met you before that night.
Yeah, you were like, well, what do we have to do with your trans anyways?
We had to swap it. I blew third gear.
You ended up swapping its trans, and then
At your garage without knowing you, or what?
yeah, basically.
I
was like, we can do
I
that.
showed up. I knew Tokyo. That was it. And I showed up down River City Center.
Yeah,
And
Look,
Kyle was there. And
I genuinely love working on cars, and
Yeah.
like that is the bottom line to like everything I do. Is I genuinely love working on cars. I took on this car for Colby, that Hemi Fox.
Yeah.
Like I'm not getting anything out of it besides
Just because you like
I
it.
can make the content. I might make $200 or $300 a video and make, I don't know, half a dozen videos, but I'm putting hundreds of hours into this thing just because I genuinely want to do it. I want to see that car out on the track do what it's supposed to do, and I want to see my friend have fun in it. And just like,
it's cool to see like you being able to like after all your years of work to be able to live off what you like to do. You know what I mean?
yeah, well, fortunately, Virginia and I are like between Facebook and YouTube and Twitch, and then she has an OnlyFans as well.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, you can plug it too. We're not.
Yeah, like honestly, we're more than set up this year, and we have our like more than our fair share of money that we need to continue doing what we need to do. So like, I'm so thankful for every day that we can just like wake up. There's no stress to have to do something. It's you want to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How hard was it? Like, was it hard to make the decision to go full time with this? Leave your
I thought you were going to talk about the OnlyFans. I was like, where the fuck
Full-time
are you going with
OnlyFans?
this?
No, I wasn't hard.
I was like, where the fuck are you going with this?
no, like to get into full time content creation. Like you had like a significant, like a very good job. Like
Yeah,
I
that's true.
100% like my job. It was like $140,000 a year or something like that.
Yeah.
It was definitely hard to mentally transition from having a paycheck all the time to being like, okay, I have to do something or else my mortgage doesn't get paid.
Yeah.
So for the first like 6-8 months, I definitely did struggle with it. I had this nest egg. It was a significant amount of money, but like I could see it dwindle over time because I wasn't making as much as I needed to keep supporting the way that I was living. And then over time, it's like I took this one road down this one path. Virginia took this road down this other path, and like
she was making good money too, where she was, wasn't she?
She was too. She had the same almost like exact salary that I did, and she quit a year prior to me. But we went down these different paths to keep trying like push our content, and it just wasn't working. And the whole thing about like collaborating, like we were talking about, is like when we came together and I started like helping her do stuff, and she started helping me do stuff. We noticed things like double, triple, like
she's doing wicked with her painting too.
Yeah, like her body paints are.
That's insane. How long have we been rolling for? I don't want to keep you out there for too long either.
Oh, I don't mind. I'm like,
Cameras don't say.
Huh?
I'm vibing too. I'm good.
Oh.
Cause vibing.
Yeah, like
Okay, so if you want to go viral, what's your tip? Because you've been viral. Like, what's your most viewed video? Like your most viewed piece of content?
It's probably like a TikTok or YouTube, or sorry, a TikTok or like a Facebook reel. But like, I've had videos do like 15, 20 million views probably
On YouTube?
not on YouTube.
On Instagram and
on Instagram and TikTok and stuff. So obviously, like the short form stuff will get way more views just because the duration of it isn't as much.
Mm-hmm.
But it's got to be different, and it's got to be. You can either be really sexy, which we don't fall in that category.
What do you mean?
So yeah,
Speak for yourself.
just scrape that one already.
French guy?
Huh?
Like, have anyone looked at you?
Buddy, like I've gained COVID hit me hard, man. I gained 50 pounds since.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Okay, I went the other way, but anyways, you've got to be either really sexy, you've got to be really funny,
Yeah.
or you've got to be interested.
Shit.
What about for people like me that people can't understand what I say? What do I need to do?
Just enunciate.
Just that's
Use subtitles.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. People think, oh man, he cracked the code with the subtitle. No, it's just that people can't understand me if I don't put them on.
So that Viper engine is in the Miata right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so walk up to it, just say...
I did. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Actually,
walk up to it, lift the hood, and be like, there's a Viper engine in Miata. I bet you that does really well. Or just walk up to it, lift up the hood, and say, yep, you can fit a V10 in a Miata. Something like...
Okay, how do you get those ideas? Like do you smoke weed?
Kyle's just sitting there in his bedroom like...
Flip it off, instantly million views.
I know, how do you think about the 8 turbo Mustang? 4 turbo. I've thought about that Miata V10 for like 3 years.
Well, I thought about the 8 turbo thing for a while too, and then finally one day I was like, fuck it, I'm ordering these turbos. I think it cost me like $1,400 for 8 turbos.
But but that video probably put you like
one of those singular videos that I think it did like 400,000 views of the 8 turbo Mustang.
It's wicked, man.
Everybody knows it. Was like $3,000 in revenue.
Oh, really?
So it ended up paying for itself in the end, but like materials, time, all that stuff, it doesn't pay for that.
No, 100%.
And like, just little snowballs seem to like
build up.
Next thing you know, you're 100,000 followers. Like,
well, I remember you told me like the first thousands are the hardest to gain.
The first 1,000 on any platform are hardest to gain. Nobody knows who you are. Why would they watch you? Like I could watch like Adam LZ or TJ Hunt or something. Why would I go watch you guys?
Or our video that Josh can't see because it's too the garage doors open and the contrast is just too fucked.
So like I said, you either got to be sexy, you got to be funny, or you got to do something different.
Shit.
Yeah, you're fucked. You wanted to start vlogging, you're done, man.
Damn it. And an LSE 46.
But then, obviously, as you do more videos, like your first 100 videos are going to suck. Mr. B said it himself. He said, do 100 videos, they're going to suck.
They say, because it's funny that you brought it up. I watched so many of his podcasts because he's an interesting dude, and like I got very interested in making YouTube video out of nowhere. And just like literally out of nowhere.
That's exactly the same as me. I was watching TJ Hunt when he was sub 100,000 followers.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can do that. Why can't I do that? And then I just started filming whatever was in my garage, and that's how it started.
Huh. And it's funny you're saying about the first 100 videos, because he keeps saying just work on one thing every video. Like upgrade one thing, and at one point you'll make like an actual good video.
So like your first podcast, you probably didn't have 3 microphones or lights.
Buddy, like for the first 3 podcasts, we put the wrong setting. Okay, so those are like directional, right?
Well, forever we had your one mic that you had it.
Yeah, it goes like directional, omnidirectional, like both sides.
I thought you just had to speak like on front of it.
Oh no.
So for the first like 3 episodes, like. The whole fucking time I had no idea, and then it was like literally 3 seconds of Google research away, and you would find like the whole chart that you had to provide. Did you have like somebody who like coached you through?
Not really. I'm still like on Canon camera as well, so like I try and do, and I've experimented with different cameras and different mics and stuff, and I bought a lavalier mic to try that. And
did you like it?
I didn't get it to work right. Never tried it again because I like ruined a whole video trying to figure out this mic. But just like improving one video at a time. And if you genuinely make decent content, a lot of times it doesn't matter that you don't have a $5,000 camera or like a super professional mic or like super editing. Like, if you're genuinely having a good time doing something interesting on the internet, people are going to watch.
Yeah, that's fair.
People filming on iPhones.
Yeah.
Well,
like
Cletus films on iPhone.
Yeah, a lot of those guys, like I went to the States and
Whistling Diesel films on.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he still does.
Yeah.
He's a cameraman now, though, right?
yeah, he does.
So yeah, he's not on iPhone anymore, but
But a lot of guys will film on iPhone and just airdrop it to their computer, and
no, that's
like
true.
there's absolutely nothing wrong with a top of the line iPhone video. It's honestly probably better than this 10-year-old Canon that's right there.
It probably is.
Yeah, because like even just one of them is Paul's actually, and the other one is Ophir, and that one we can't even plug a mic to it. It's so old.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
I haven't been able to
genuinely,
start vlogging yet because I don't have a camera now.
genuinely, if you have like one of the newer iPhones or like an Android phone, those videos are really good. And you have a Mac, so going from iPhone, if you have an iPhone, iPhone to Mac is no problem. Yeah.
But I think a lot of people are scared to talk in front of camera.
They like genuinely myself.
Is it?
The first like 10, 15, 20 videos I did probably, I had to voice them over, and I was nervous to voice over. Like I would have to I would like and I have the script right out in front of me, and I would like talk it into the camera and like put it in the video afterwards.
Really?
But like
Wow.
when I started, before I started YouTube or anything like that, I was super like antisocial. I didn't know how to talk to people. People would like to have a genuine conversation with somebody. I didn't know what to say. Like I'd be like, okay, yeah, cool. Huh. They'd be like, where do you work? I'd be like, oh, here. And then I wouldn't say anything back to you. And then I'd be like, when you're supposed to be like, oh, where do you work? I would be like,
where do you work, Suncor?
Yeah.
So, don't talk to me.
Like growing up, I played a lot of computer games. I did a lot of like biking and stuff. And honestly, we used to record biking and make videos, like short videos, 15 years ago.
On YouTube?
Not on YouTube, but we used to like actually edit them and like film them and like make parts
with skateboard,
yeah, so you know it, like, and we used to be super stoked. We used to like go over to somebody's house, like bring our computers, like edit a video and like play games, and like that was as much social life as I have. I never went out and like partied or anything, so I genuinely didn't know how to talk to people.
Yeah. No, it's cool to see. And then there's like people like Ophir that do you ever see? I don't know if you ever seen that video, but they're
zooming in.
There's a video where Ophir starts talking on the camera, but he hits the zoom by accident, so he keeps zooming.
See, those are priceless. You can't pay for those.
And Ophir, like he has no idea, right? He's just like, what's going on, guys? That's the camera, dude. That video is fucking hilarious.
I've vlogged so much stuff
and never made it to post.
And I've never posted it because
you're good at talking in front of cameras.
Because of the
That's
fact I give myself so much shit. Like when I built that black Civic, remember the one you did?
Yeah.
So when I was building like actually the built LSV tech, the front mount turbo setup, like I had that car pretty much done. I had the motor in, all the charge piping ran. I had that car done, and I vlogged every bit of it, and did nothing with it because I rewatched it all like myself, and I was like, no, I sound like an idiot.
That's what I don't get. You're so good at talking. Like I judge on people with the Snapchat they sent me. Like Paul is like, oh yeah, today in the garage and shit like that. Like you're so good at talking. I stress
myself out so much. I will never send like
but
those
it's
type
like
of Snapchats to anyone but like.
But it's obviously a progression thing. Like you don't jump into a video game and be like automatically good at the controls, know what to do.
No, that's
like
speak for yourself.
Yeah, the more you play, the better you get. So,
what's your Twitch again?
No.
It's the same thing with making videos. Like,
look at baby.
Obviously, it's like it's a muscle memory thing. So you film something, you edit it, and then you think about while you're editing it, I should probably film that a little bit different next time. It'll be easier to edit.
That's fair. No, that's very fair.
And you get to a point now where like it just comes natural to like flip the camera around. You're talking about this thing because
I still have a hard time. Like I can't talk like this because like I'm interested in people, right?
To be honest, you're up in a shop full of like people judging you all the time.
Yeah.
So like you'll be trying to video something, someone else is over here like looking past his car,
he's gonna be like, yeah. While you're filming, so you're like, oh fuck.
So once you get past like the social awkwardness of it, so it's like take your camera, go try and film something in Canadian Tire. Like, you're worried about people, like, looking at you or judging you.
Yeah.
So once you get past that point of it, and you can just do it and be like, I don't give a shit.
That's fair, because for now I'm still at the point that I go, like, I mostly go to the shop when I'm by myself to film shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wait until everybody's gone, then that's where I can very focus on doing, like, the best content that I can.
And then you kind of sacrifice your time working to make content, but, like, if you just go there and, like, you guys are doing stupid shit all the time.
Hey.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like, what's better than filming stupid shit all the time? Like,
Not filming it.
Yeah. Well,
That sounds better.
our biggest problem is that, like you said, we do stupid shit all the time, but we're the one doing it, so we don't have the reflex to pick up the camera.
Yeah, we
you know
don't
what I
yeah,
mean?
think
and,
to.
and it comes with time, obviously, and you'll notice, like, you'll get to a point where, like, oh fuck, I wish I would have filmed that because that would have been funny. But
There's
then,
so much stuff that, like, I really wanted, like, the pit bike, I wanted to do, like, a build battle of the pit bike and, like, throw nitrous or turbo, whatever.
Let's throw it together in like an hour.
Yeah. So you can build the best pit bike within an hour, but...
So you can actually put a carburetor on one.
Yeah.
No, that's not fair. Josh has a major upper hand on doing that. This dude raced dirt bikes. We didn't.
But just stupid shit like that, you know what I mean? But it just comes with, like, I don't know, like, it's always a matter of time, because, like, there's a podcast, you edit that for a week, then those videos takes a little bit of time to, and then there's the money side of it, like, we run, like, I've tried to get my car drifting to like, a point where, like, I can go to competition more often and shit like that.
yeah, it's definitely a balancing act between content creation, making sure all your shit runs, and, like...
Because right now none of my shit runs again. I don't know why, but...
Join the club.
But yeah, like, if I had to give you a piece of advice on specifically making YouTube videos, it's just film more. You can always edit it out. So, like, when you're at the shop, and let's just say you're working on your car, if it's up there, because I don't know whose car's up there right now, but if someone's up there working on their car, you can include that. Like, it's no big deal.
Just as a daily vlog kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
like, people love seeing the progression of things.
Oh, that's fair. Because yeah, me was always like, we need to have something super interesting, otherwise, like, what's the point of turning the camera? So I'm not used to, like, that.
Yeah, and I mean that works at, like, the highest level. Like, Mr. Beast is like, he doesn't, like,
Yeah.
they'll spend $2 million to film something. He'd be like, nah, I don't like that.
Yeah, he's gonna scrap.
Just scrap that idea.
Like, Jesus Christ, being at that level has been.
But
nuts.
to get your name out there and, like, because
'Cause
that's ultimately what you're trying to do, is, like, build the
Yeah.
881 crew presence. Like,
still weird because we don't know what we want to do with 881. So we don't. We're just here. We don't even know what's 881 still. You know what I mean?
You know what
Like,
881 is?
Huh?
We're a really big deal in this town for like 10 people.
Yeah, like for the 10 people
Or
that
10
know
fans that come watch us at Scales.
us. Yeah, well, that's pretty
but,
much
like,
what it is.
genuinely, like, those 10 people, like, look forward to going to there on Sunday.
Yeah,
To, like, see people do that stuff.
yeah, that's fair. And my biggest thing is I'm happy to see, like, kids getting into the sport, like, starting to get interested with it.
Yeah.
Because we're not.
Just yesterday was a
Yeah.
blast.
Yeah. His neighbor is like a big fan of the podcast. So shout out to Paul's neighbor if you're watching that one.
Bleep
But-
out all the curses.
Yeah, maybe. But it's cool because, like, we're not very reserved, right? Like, if you want to come in the car and have a ride in it,
Yeah.
we're always like up to it, right?
Yeah, and you notice that, like, the group of people, I'm not trying to put, like, negativity or anything out there, but, like, it's a younger group of people trying to get into motorsports.
But they don't know the right way to do it, kind
Well,
of.
I'm not saying anything bad about them. It's just, like, I'm glad that there's a younger generation trying to continue the motorsport trend, because, like, obviously with all, like, the electric cars and the emission bullshit, like, everything's working against us to keep progressing.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the Motorsport Act? Did you hear anything back from it, or
No.
no? Because it just blew up, kind of died out, didn't it?
What, like with like what Brent with PFI was dealing with and stuff like that?
Kind of.
With the EPA?
Pretty quickly.
Was it SEMA?
SEMA silenced that really quickly.
What happened?
A lot of money happened.
Yeah, because
sure,
the Motorsports Act, like they wanted, like, anything that was what was it, like, racing use? That was
Yeah,
gonna be banned?
anything that you couldn't turn a street car into a race car, I think.
Yeah, that was
You had to be part of a club,
Oh, was it?
like an actual racing club or series, to even own something that was.
Oh, that's
an
stupid.
aftermarket part.
Yeah, the
was
aftermarket
ridiculous.
industry had to crush that for sure.
So we'd have to come after you to start a race team.
He will.
Yeah,
Boosted lifestyle.
boosted race team.
Yeah, what was it? What is
I
it?
can provide Hot Pockets as a sponsorship.
Team racing.
Yeah, that was my That's always my name for everything. It's like I don't
Team
know what
race team?
I don't know what to name my race team, so I'm just calling it Team Race Team.
But man, thanks for coming on. Like it's probably been over an hour, and
It's been over an hour a while ago.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
I don't like I said. I don't.
but this is just vibing anyways. Like,
Well, that's the thing. Like, what's cool with this shit is like it's something that we would have anyways. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
everybody be bullshitting anyways. Like,
Dude, like, even with like Murphy, like that was sick. Like we just sat down and we just started
It just
bullshitting about.
flowed.
Yeah. It's-
Murphy's good, and he's been in like all aspects of motorsports too, which is kind of cool.
Man, he's so knowledgeable. He knows everybody, everything. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
We have to do part 2 with Murphy.
He's kind of a dick, but
He's a little bit, yeah. Murphy's fucking stupid, but
Whoa.
DUI.
huh?
Him and his DUI.
Yeah, you seen that clip?
no.
Oh, so hilarious. It's
He
like
said
DUI
DUI
is
is-
the best, but he meant like Drift Union and Vintage.
Oh, yeah.
So I just clipped that DUI is the best.
Those are always what do well too.
That was hilarious. But man, thanks for coming on. It's
No
super,
worries.
We'll have to do part 2 like in this summer or whenever we see like I said.
Let me know when you guys are at the shop, like, because
Oh my
like
god.
you just bought one of those, didn't you?
Yeah,
That's why it's
stop
so
it. I can't buy a third.
It's broken now.
Yeah. Like, let me know when you guys are up at the shop. I'll come. Like,
Anytime,
like,
man,
Like
yeah.
I said, collaboration. Like, even on my end, it's going to be bigger if more people are in my
You
videos
see
too.
like drifting.
Yeah, so we're going
Yeah.
back to my house after this to start my car for the first time.
I need
So
V-Vans
you're gonna come
welded
Okay.
over, right?
truck
Huh?
headers.
What?
I still need V-Vans welded truck headers. So I can return my headers.
But yeah, man, would be cool. I'd be down.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll head over to your house after. Help you
Yeah.
fire it up.
All right, sounds like a deal.
Already,
Well,
I just gotta go put fuel in it.
I gotta go back to my place and get some like not red pants because if I ruin these, they're my only red pants.